Hello, welcome to Stretch and Relax. I am Chris, and we are again here in my lovely basement to enjoy another class. So today again we'll be using a block and a strap, and like always you do have options. You can grab a pillow, you can use a towel to help you with that strap, or even grab your broomstick and unscrew the broom off of it so that way you have a bar that can help you with some movements with your shoulder. Okay? So why don't we go ahead and get started standing, finding ourselves in the middle of our mat, feet comfortably underneath our hips, and let's just quiet that brain, okay? Gets a lot of chatter throughout the day. Maybe you wake up a little stressed because you're thinking about what all you have to do in order to get ready for whatever, or with work, or maybe it's the end of the day and you are just mentally fried and you just need to let all that negativity go. So let's start with a nice clean slate, okay? Let's just stand, feet comfortable underneath us. They don't have to be here, they don't have to be here. It's what feels good for you, okay? So feet comfortable. And let's just start from the ground up, setting up that wonderful posture. Okay, so gently, weight coming forward and back. Just a little shift in our body weight. And letting ourselves be a little bit heavier in the heels. Pause there. Come forward one last time. And then again, settling with our weight in our heels. Good. So it's not all of our weight in our heels. 60-40, so a little bit more in the heels, but our big toes are firmly anchored to the ground. Now, letting our body weight shift gently to heavier on the right, to gently heavier on the left. Just do this a couple times. We want to find that center where we have equal pressure, equal body weight. Gently back in our heels. Good. Let's lift our arches up. Just pretend like there's a string on the top of each foot and give it a little lift. Allow the inside seam of our pants or our shorts, jeans, whatever you are comfortable in right now. Let's rotate those seams forward, rotating those thigh bones open, pulling our tailbone underneath us, causing our belly muscles to be a little bit more active. Keeping our ribs stitched to our hip. We're going to lift our sternum up to our nose. That's pulling our shoulder blades down. Our ears are over our shoulders. They're not out here. So sternum goes up, and that allows our head to come back. Gently holding that kindergarten pencil right between our shoulder blades. So we're not standing broad straight like a soldier. We're just standing at an active attention mountain pose. Let's place one hand on our belly. You can put both of them there if you like. I like to put one high, one low. And let's just practice some belly breathing. Let's inhale. Make the hand raise on the belly. Inhaling. And exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, make our hand raise. Good. We'll practice this. Let's make the hand on our sternum raise. Inhale. Feel the difference. And exhale. One more time, okay? Inhale. And exhale. Now come back to the lower hand. Inhale. And exhale. Feeling the difference. Maybe it feels like you can inhale deeper, fuller. Maybe the other one seems too shallow. That's how it feels to me. Let's be aware of the difference, okay? what I'd love for us to do is focus on that belly breathing. Inhaling, feeling the ribs expand to the side and through our backside as our belly raises. And we inhale so much that all of a sudden we start expanding up this way as well. And then exhale. Focusing on that deep belly breathing. Inhale. And exhaling. I've mentioned it before, and I hope maybe you've given it a try. Box breathing. Square breathing is another term for it. It's just a way of breathing, a technique that can help with anxiety and stress. It helps calm. But basically, you're breathing from your belly, getting your diaphragm involved. Inhale slowly, counting to a number. It could be 2, it could be 4, it could be 8. Pausing, and then exhaling for the same amount of time. I like 4. 4 is a nice, easy number because I can inhale slowly to 4. Pause, holding my breath for 4. And exhale slowly, 4 counts. And pausing again for 4. Take that moment. Try this sometime. Maybe at night when you're not able to quite get asleep and your brain is still too active. Give that a shot. See if that helps you. Maybe you're feeling a little anxious. Give box breathing a shot. Square breathing. You can look that up, see about more information. We're going to finish up our breathing exercise and go into some inhalation, sweeping our arms up, drawing through the middle, and bringing the elbows together as we come to heart center. Again, scoop, sweep, lift up, opening our chest to the sky as we draw through the middle. Just a slight bend in our knees as we scoop and lift up, shooting our hips back as we scoop. Okay? Trying not to load forward in our knees. Remember, we're not doing this. We're doing this. Scoop up, lift up, and pull down. 2 more times. Inhale. Draw through. Good. Let's inhale, lift up. Let's drop our right arm down. Pressing the hips to our left. Inhale, center. Then lower. Let's take our arms forward. Round over. Back of our palms touch. And then low, like an upside down Y. Open up that chest. Good. Big lift up. Dropping the other arm. Pushing our hips to our right. Reaching to the left. And back center. Good. And then again, round forward. And open. And let's do this again. Big inhale. Right arm drops, pressing the hips to the left. And center. And release. Sweeping, rounding over. And then open through the chest as we lift again. Dropping our left hand, pressing the hips to the right, lift, and one more time forward towards me, and now open. Good. Good. Shake it out. Let's look over our right shoulder. And center, and left. And center. One more time. Good. Let's pour water out of our right ear. Taking the right hand, bring it over and across. Not pulling, but just letting the weight of the hand sit there. Left arm extends outward to where the wall and the floor would meet. A gentle stretch down the side of our neck. Let's remove our hand and lift the head and changing sides. Pouring water out of our left ear. Bringing our left arm up and over, letting it rest right by our ear. And again, it's just the weight of my hand resting here. It's allowing me to get that wonderful tension right down the side of the neck. Good. Releasing the hand and then lifting the head. Let's take both hands behind our head, lacing our fingers together. Let's drop our chin and just letting the hands rest here. I want us to gently push our head into our hands, okay? So just look like this. Gentle push. Wonderful stretch down the back of our neck. Again, I'm not pulling with my hands. It's just my weight of my hands. Maybe the hands interlacing is a little bit too much tension. Feel free to go just one hand. Make sure the elbow's pointed forward so you're not pulling it off to the side. Let's release the tension. And one more time, looking left and right. We'll start right and left, excuse me. Maybe that feels a little bit looser. Good. And one more time. Let's sweep forward. And now open. Last time. Sweeping forward. And open. Placing our fingertips behind us. Opening through the chest. Again, we don't want to collapse in our low back and make it like this. We want to stitch our ribs to our hips. Let it be all about our chest. So lacing those fingertips behind. Now, if this is tough for you to do, maybe you just don't have that mobility, or you just kind of bigger up on top with a barrel chest that just doesn't quite reach, feel free to grab your strap, your stick, or your towel. This is perfectly fine. Or even just make a couple fists and let them rest there. There's some days where I'm just too tight that clasping my hands is just too much. It's too much of a strain, and then I find myself hunching up. You want this to be passive, relaxing. So find what works for you. Grabbing that strap if you need to, the belt, towel, stick. Just relax here for a little bit, okay? Let's not rush. Stretching should not be rushed. All those little neurotransmitters in us that help prevent our muscles from overstretching too much. They get a little crabby. Relax. Just hang on to the strap. Hang on to your stick. Think about squeezing the kindergarten pencil together. Now, stitch that rib a little bit closer to the hip. This guy right here. Stitch it closer to the hip. Pull those belly muscles in. Our low back is long. Breathe. Now, I want us to think about taking our shoulders, rolling them back a little bit more, allowing our hands to slide further down our backside. Okay? And again, just breathe. Hold here. Let the breath go to the tension. Maybe turning the head side to side. Oh, I felt a release. If you felt softening within your shoulders, within your chest, again, think about your shoulders. You're going to pull them back and down a little bit more. Allow those hands to creep down without doing this, okay? Pinky swear. So we started maybe way up here with our shoulders near our ears. We're getting them lower. Hold on that strap. Hold on that stick. Just a gentle little pull. Like you want to pull them apart. And then again, think about your ribs. Let's stitch that rib one more time towards the hip. Good. Can we do this one more time? Shoulders roll back and down a little more. Great. Patience. Patience. Don't rush. This is all about you. Can you give those shoulder blades a little squeeze one more time? Good. Inhale. Make that belly fill. And exhale. One more time. Make your belly fill. Inhale. And exhale. Relax that strap. Hopefully that felt as wonderful for you as it did for me. My shoulders don't feel like I'm up here. I'm a lot further down. Let's put our straps aside for now. We will use those again a little bit later. Standing here, let's take our feet comfortable distance apart, toes turned out as we come into sunflower squats. Remember, we want to lead with our hips pressing back, not with our knees leading forward. Big sweep up. Press the hips back and push through the floor to lift. You can come as comfortably deep as you like. It could be right here. Maybe you want to sweep all the way down. Me, I'm going to stay right here. I've had a nasty issue with patellar tendonitis in my darn knee. So, gotta take care of that. It will resolve, so patience is just needed. Take note of anything that you have going on, whether it be sore knee, sore shoulder. Maybe you have a crook in your back. So pay attention to those things. That's your body letting you know that you just need to give it a little bit more attention there. Treat it with a little gentleness, a little kindness. Stretch it a little bit more. Maybe lay off of an exercise that you've been stubbornly sticking to because you think you have to do it. You don't have to do anything. The one thing you should do is just take care of yourself. Let's do 2 more. Our legs are warm. Coming to 5-pointed star right here. And again, we're not reaching with those arms. Pull those arms down. Screw those arms into the shoulder. And then pull the elbows in and raise. Good. 2 more times. And once, extend up and floating those arms down. Good. Let's toe heel out just a little bit wider, okay? Coming over to our right side, making sure our knee stays inside of our foot. Coming into a side lunge. Our toe is somewhat angled outward. My knee is soft. I want to protect that knee from hyperextension. Now, if this feels great, nice stretch for the inner thigh, wonderful. If you want to deepen it, you can raise up onto your heel. Again, soft knee, prevent the leg from hyperextension. We'll come center, hands on both sides. We're going to rotate and dip our right shoulder through. Checking out the wall behind us. So we come center, shifting our weight over to our left side. Again, knee stays inside the foot, toes somewhat angled out. Wonderful stretch for our inner thigh. Again, if you want to deepen, change that sensation, come up onto your heel. And then back center and shoulder. Come back center. We change sides. Now, if this feels good, wonderful. Maybe you want to come a little bit lower. A little support. Even your block. Soft knee. Weight is back into our hips. Walking ourselves back up. Rotate through. And back center. And we come to the other side. Again, knee stays inside the ankle. Height can be different. And come back center. Hands on our thighs. Shoulder. Rotate. Good. Come back center. Toe heel in slightly. Hands on our thighs. Rounding up like a cat. Tucking the chin. And flat back. One more time. Tuck roll. And flatten out. Hopefully you have your block handy. If not, I apologize for not cueing that. We're going to have our hands on our block in a wide leg forward fold. We're going to do some spinal rotation. So keeping our left hand on the block, what I'd like us to do is point to the right side of our room. The arm does nothing else. Remember, it's just a gauge to show us what our rotation is like. The rotation comes from our torso. So pointing towards the right side, pressing through the block. Let's open ourselves up to the side of the room. Notice my arm. It's straight out from my shoulder. I'm not trying to crank and reach around. Your shoulder won't like it. It'll get cranky. Let's come back to our block as we change sides. Pointing towards the left. Pressing through the block. Rotate, opening up the chest. Maybe be aware of where your arm is compared to the other side. Seems like I can rotate a little bit more on this side. Let's come back to our blocks, and we'll do this one more time. Taking note of where we're more mobile. Exhale. And coming back to center. And one more time, pointing to our left and rotate. Good. And coming back to center. Let's toe heel in till we feel comfortable enough to place our hands on our thighs. Rounding up one vertebrae at a time, peeling your spine up. Good. Let's go ahead and have a seat. We'll have our blocks and strap handy. Let's go ahead and have a seat in seated step. Feet are out extended, allowing the backs of our legs to be actively engaged into the floor. If this feels tight, if you feel like you have to do this in order to be able to sit up, feel free to use a block. Sometimes our lower back is just too tight, our hamstrings are just too tight. Excuse me. Have a seat on your block. Look how much taller we can sit up. So feel free to use your block or grab a pillow to prop yourself up. Just want us to be able to sit up comfortably and not have the strain of being hunched over like this. So please find what feels good for you. Remember, there's no right, no wrong, just different, okay? Let's allow the back of our legs to be active into that floor. Let's point and flex our feet. Point, flex. Let's wake up those toes. Can we point just our big toes and pull the other ones towards us? And then flip it around. Ooh, toe cramp. There we go. And then flip around one more time. Point those big toes, pull the other ones up towards us. And then flip it around. Good. Wiggle those toes out, stretch them out. Good. Now, legs comfortably active into the floor. Let's walk our fingertips out in a hinge. This is a hinge compared to a draping or rounding ourselves over. This is more spinal. And this is definitely a pivot at our hip joint. I want us to pivot first, okay? So, if maybe this is all you can do, that's fine. Again, no right, no wrong. Walking ourselves out, stopping when we get that urge to start rounding instead of having our little pivot point. Pause right here. Now, take the back of our legs. Can we press them a little bit harder into the ground? And breathe and relax. Can we walk ourselves just a little bit more? Maybe we can grab the back of our thighs and gently pull ourselves forward. Now, more active tension here, pressing the back of our legs into the ground. 3, 2, 1, and release. And one more time, just a gentle pull forward. Remember, we're leading with our sternum, we're not rounding. And if you can't go any further forward, that's okay, don't worry. One last time, let's place some active tension, pushing the back of our legs into the into the ground. It's meant to say floor and ground at the same time. It wasn't going to come out right. Breathe. Good, and release. Maybe that created a little low back tension, so let's give our low back a little love. Hugging our chest to our thighs, not letting this separate. Let's just sneak our feet out just a wee bit, okay? Until we feel that wonderful stretch right in our low back, okay? Just draping ourselves over. This is where we can round it to our heart's content, okay? Let the breath go out through our backside as we inhale. And falling as we exhale. Feel that back expand. Just a couple more breaths. Go ahead and just open up our feet, bringing the soles of our feet together in a big wide diamond. Our heels aren't drawn close. We're going to grab our block, put it right by our heels, and just rounding forward. Excuse me. Whew. I have a hair stuck to me. Rounding forward. You can stack your fists. That's what I'm going to do because I can't really bring my forehead to my block comfortably just yet. But if I take my fists and stack them up, or maybe even lay a pillow here, I would like it to rest here and let it be passive. Let the stretch just sort of blossom within our low back and within our hips, and slowly release, allowing our breath to help us with this. So let's take a moment here, find a quiet spot within our brain, and breathe, and just release the tension within our low back. Again, we're just going to need a little patience here, okay? So embrace a little patience, take some breaths, Let's unwind, releasing tension, not just from our body, but also from our mind, and quiet everything. Inhale, exhale all the tension. Let all the tension release. Let's take our hands down by our sides and slowly supporting ourselves as we walk ourselves up. Good. Let's put our block off to the side as we extend our legs out. Let's bring our right leg in, give it a hug. Again, our left leg is active in the floor. Let's take our right ankle above the knee. Woohoo. Our foot is flexed. That flexion helps protect our knee while it is bent. Keeps that kneecap in a safe position. Sitting up nice and tall. Hinging again. It's that pivot point, not the rounding. Allow the sternum to come towards the big toe. Breathe into the tension. The back of our left leg again is active into the floor. Both feet are flexed. Letting our breath help release tension within our hips. Inhale, then exhaling as we lift. Let's give this leg a hug across our body, wrapping the arm around as we come into a seated twist. Breathe. And releasing. Good. Let's shake it out. We'll do the same thing on the other side. We're going to bring in that left leg. Give it a hug. Our right leg is active in the floor as we bring the left ankle above our right knee. Our foot is flexed to help keep our kneecap in a safe position. Inhale. And our pivot point is our hips as we lead with our sternum towards our big toe. Breathe. And again, if sitting up tall is all we can do, that's fine. That's an active stretch still within our hips. So find what works for you. No right, no wrong. We're just different. Embrace that different. That's what makes it so great. Let the breath go to the tension. Maybe you can fold or reach a little bit more. Good. Inhale. Exhaling as we lift. Straighten out those those legs, give them a little thump. And let's roll onto our sides. Face me, okay? So as we come to our sides, if you'd like, you can have that block handy. The block can make a wonderful pillow for the head as we come down. We're just going to do some quadricep stretching while lying on our side. That way we don't have to worry about falling over, hanging onto a wall. We have total control of this. Let's bring our top leg in, grabbing the instep of our foot. And again, if you have problems grabbing that instep, that's where taking your strap or your towel or your belt, kind of string it around your foot. And that way you have a way to grab onto it, okay? So again, find what works best for you. Feel free to use your block or your pillow to support your head. And I just want us to start in a passive position. Notice my knee is in front of my hip. I want us to start by doing a pelvic tilt. So tuck your tailbone under. You're going to start to feel a blossom of a stretch within the hip. If that sensation doesn't quite kick in for you just yet, you can always pull that heel behind. Oh, sorry, I apologize. Another tip. Bend your bottom leg a little bit. Gives you a little bit of broader base, a little kickstand so you don't fall over backwards or forwards, okay? So, just a little bend. Let's come back to that stretch, okay? Tuck that tailbone under and then gently pulling the knee back from in front of the hip to in line with our hip, okay? Let the breath go to the tension within the front of that leg. And then like what we did earlier, I would like us to gently push the foot into our hand for 3 seconds. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. We're going to do that one more time. Again, a gentle press for 3, 2, 1, and release. Now, can we tuck our tailbone under a little bit more? Maybe pull the knee back a little bit more behind our hip or in better line with our hip. Let the breath go to the tension within the leg. Good. And release. Let's bring the leg in front and open up our chest to the ceiling. Feel free to move that block out of the way if you need to. This is a little bit more for our low back than it is for our upper portion of our back, like we do with book openings. Good. Now, I'm going to flip around and we'll change sides. Feel free to keep facing me or just flip around and face the back of the room as we do our quadricep stretch on our other side. So have a lie. Pillow may be underneath your head. If you don't need a pillow, that's just fine. Let's bend that bottom leg slightly so we got a little bit of a kickstand. And again, using our strap or just using our hand, let's grab the instep of our foot. Again, my knee is in front of my hip right now. And let's start just with the pelvic tilt. Tucking that tailbone under. We can feel that little blossom of a stretch right in our hip flexor. Maybe we're not as tight as what I am right now, and we can take that knee right in line with our hip right away for that sensation that we are looking for. Right now, it's just that gentle blossom of a stretch. When we feel release, the tension softening, gently pull that knee a little bit more in line with the hip or even behind the hip. Breathe. Now for a little bit of oomph, we're going to take that hand and gently push it into our foot, okay? Ready? Now, for 3, 2, 1, relax. Good. We're going to do that again, okay? Here we go. Pressing the foot into our hand. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Can we tug our tailbone under just a little bit more? Can we draw the knee a little bit further back? A wonderful blossom within the muscle body of that thigh muscle, our quadricep. Breathe. Good. Let's release, bringing that leg across, opening up to the ceiling. Oh, snap, crackle, pop. That felt wonderful. And again, this is more for our lower back than for our upper. That's why we have a little bit more mobility. Good. Let's bring it back together. We'll move our pillow out of the way, coming onto our back sides. Let's separate the feet, toes turning inward, allowing our knees to drift towards one another. This is a nice neutral position for our lower back. It doesn't add any strain. We can come to a final relaxation here. If this feels comfortable and you like it, feel free to be here. If you would rather extend the legs out, feel free to do what feels comfortable for you. Some days the low back is just tight and sore, and this is a wonderful option for those times. Let's just take a moment and relax, putting that final polish on that release of letting go of stress and tension. Remembering our belly breathing, remembering that box or square breathing. Let's practice that now together, okay? Using the count of 4 as our guide, we'll inhale slowly, counting down from 4, pausing with that breath for 4, exhaling slowly for 4, and again pausing for 4, okay? So give it a try with me. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Give it a try again. Inhale. Pause. And exhale slowly. And pause. Again. Inhale. And pause. Exhale. And pause. Take a big breath, extending the arms overhead, thumbs pointing to the floor. Extending our legs out, pointing our toes. Stretch nice and long. And now pulling everything in. Hands behind the knees, drawing the forehead towards the knees. And release. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helps you unwind. I hope it helps you get a little stretch in. We'll keep this up for as long as you like. And I hope to see you next week. Have a great rest of your week.